Hello there. Welcome back to the Ietsie Klein Podcast. I'm your host, Gertruida. I think this is now episode 19, I think. I'm sure it's not episode 20 yet. But yeah, goodness, I've got a lot of things to share today. So first of all, I want to chat about, I didn't prepare the yarn. Here they are, they're all here. I want to chat about the Black Cat pop-up that was last week Saturday. So Black Cat came through from Hendrina to Centurion at the yarn room, and she had her, I think it's her first official pop-up at a yarn room. We've hosted a few pop-ups with the Full West crafting community. I think there was about 2 of them, but this was like the first quote unquote official one where there was like, a display involved. It was beautiful. I'll put up some photos here. It was absolutely lovely. It was lovely to hang out with Janine. It was amazing to meet everyone who came through, including Wendy. I haven't met her face to face yet. It was lovely. And I really enjoyed hanging out with everyone and being at the pop-up and seeing the response to Janine's yarn from everybody. That was super duper fun. And so I did buy, as I threatened to, I did buy the special sock colorway that she's done. So this one's name is Windsor Solstice, and her inspiration was like mulled wine with spices and all those kind of things in it, and you can absolutely see it. So you can see that there's like the whole spices kind of situation going on there with the lovely rich color that this is, and I love it. I'm so happy I managed to snag one of these. And while I was standing there trying to think what I'm going to do, because as you guys know, I don't really make socks. I make socks sometimes, occasionally, when the moon lines up just right, but not really for like making socks. Like it's not something I do all the time. So I don't want to put this into socks because it is so beautiful. So as I was standing there, I was like, what can I do? And Janine had her sea glass hat that she made that was on the table, and it was just so inspirational. So what I really love about her hat that she did was there was these like flocks of green that was coming through amongst the purples and the pinks, and that was absolutely stunning to me. So I was looking at her stock that she had there, and I was like, let's try and put something together. So I picked out this lovely variegated purple and pinky kind of color. There's a few blue tones in there, like light ice blue kind of tones, but not a lot. And then also one of her special colorways for the pop-up, which was Celestial Pony. So this one is just a smattering of pink and purple. So as you can see, these 3 goes together quite nicely. And then to bring some variation in, we picked out Moonglade, which is a purple and teal, I would call it, kind of variegated one, as well as Mistweaver, which I love how this works up. It is gorgeous. So this one variegates between blue and green. So let me just quickly line them up here. Hang on a hot moment. So if I put them so 1, 1, 1, you can kind of see the vision I'm going for here. And I do have a lot of minis that's left over. So minis from my Stria, not my Stria, my Fantasies Unite. I don't know why those 2 words are connected in my brain, but here we are. My Fantasies Unite and all sorts of other projects that's in this colorway, because like these colors are my colors, as you guys know, as is visible, as is obvious. So yeah, I've got lots of leftovers that I can work with, and splash it in here and there. And yeah, I haven't started it yet, but I am very excited about this. Let's just pop them back into the stash, because otherwise they're going to float somewhere for like ever. They're going. Cool. Now, my projects. Okay. I'm going to talk about two projects, because I've only worked on 2 projects this past week. Mostly because I was playing too much TFT. Yes, the bug bit me again. It unbit me again. I don't know, every now and again I open it up. Let me just fix this. Better. Every now and again I open it up, and I see, oh, there's a bunch of things you can do and like targets you can hit, and then I hit the targets, and then my brain goes, nah, it's boring now. And then we do something else. So the projects that I have been working on has been my Alpenglow. So we are back at just under the arm split. This is the point where last time I ripped it back because of the grays, and then I've introduced a purple alternative color rather. So yeah, I am pleased as chips that I did that, because first of all, I split too early on the first iteration, and I could only tell that when I did a proper fit, because when you do a fit with a cable in, it tends to like flare quite a bit, so it's hard to tell how far down it actually comes. So I knew that I had to put in an extra repeat of these bobbly bits, and now I did. I also added 24 extra stitches just before I started doing the bobbly bits. So on the larger sizes, beyond size 5, which is the one that I'm doing, you have to do another round of increases, and I feel like I needed those increases for my arms, because like my arms are not skinny arms, they're strong arms. So I feel like I needed to add some extra stitches. So I added 24 extra stitches, which is not in the pattern. So there's 4 extra for the front, 4 for the back, and then 8 extra on each arm. And that has made all the difference for fit. I took a picture when I was fitting it on the couch. I'll put it up here so that you can see what it looks like. But I'm super duper happy about how this is working out. It looks like a sunset, and that really like makes me all warm and fuzzy. Then the other project that I'm working on, which I am thrilled about, is my colorwork sweater. So I'm just going to hold it up. It is extremely bright. It is everything I ever wanted in life, and I love it. So this one is the Kismet sweater by, I think it's Unwind Knits. And yeah, like family, it is, oh, it's so stunning. I did a reel just before I did the blue bits at the bottom with how it fits, and it is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So this colorwork sweater is fascinating to me personally, because first of all, the pattern is based on music. It's based on a particular composer. I forget the name now. I think it's a French composer, but it's based on his music. So it being based on music means that there is rhythm in the design, in the way that the colorwork works up. And it's just a 6-stitch repeat for the colorwork. So at most, your floats is 5 stitches long, which is not that hard to catch. And it's also not stitches. It's designed in such a way that if you catch your floats in a consistent manner, it would never like catch on the same space, because even if there is 2 rows that follow each other with a 5-stitch float, they're offset from each other automatically because of the individual color stitch being offset. My hair is doing really interesting thing, guys. I hope it looks okay. So because it's offset, you don't have to think about it. You can always just catch your float on the 3rd stitch. And over and beyond that, most of your rows have like 2 or 3 stitch floats. It doesn't have a lot of these 5 stitch rows, and it is stunning. It is super fun to work on because of this like music based cadence. It feels like you are following music when you're knitting on it. And I think that because I chose to do it in the minis, it worked up really nicely. So the way that I did it was that the design of this asks for 3 colors that is relational to each other, and then 1 that's a strong contrast, 2 or 3. So when I looked at the pack, I noticed that the blue is quite a strong contrast. Like everything else, it feels like it flows into each other, but the blues feel like a contrast. So then I grouped the green and the yellow together as the lightest color, the orange as the medium color, and then the pink and the purple as the darkest color, and came up with this. So every time I got to a point where I have to use a particular color, I would just pick a shade of that color, with the exception of the starting. So the starting is all in this lovely bright green, and then it goes into a slightly lighter green, but then there isn't any green anywhere else. Everywhere else that might look a bit greeny, it's actually yellow. So yeah, that decision worked out really good, I think. It flows very nicely. I did buy 2 extra skeins of Knotty Habits Not So Boring range, because this is all queso yarn, so the Not So Boring range, same base, which is a little bit of a lighter pink. So I've started doing the body in that color, so I'm going to just bring it up real close. You guys can see that there is a slight difference, but it's really not that much, and it works because the solid skein will come in just after the colorwork sections, and the solid skein I feel has like a, in comparison to the lightest pink, it has a twinge of purple in it. So then it's a nice like middle color between my 2 quote unquote darkest colors. So yes, worked out fantastically. I am going to have a lot of meterage left from the projected meterage, I think. So there is colorwork bits at the end and then at the ends of the sleeves. And I did have more than enough of the different colors. But of my minis, I probably have enough left to make another one. It's that much that's left, which does mean that I can use it in a different project again, which is super duper fun because I just love this pack. It gives you so much freedom. It gives you so many options, and it is lovely. So thank you for creating this product. Tani Mincy, it is phenomenal. I love it. Cool. Okay, so now, next things. First of all, I just want to get this one out because it's sitting on my mind like an earworm. Mariana has released a new pattern. So that is Sweet Crochet Dreams. It is called, and I'm not sure, I forget the name now. Before this video, I was like, remember the name. It is not Eliska. I think it's Elise. But I can put the text here when I do post editing with a picture of what it looks like. It is a stunning cardigan. It has lace panels in the middle at the back, and then it is a more solid fabric for the rest of the body, and it works sideways, which is really interesting. I haven't done a sideways project other than the shuffle sweater, so yeah, I feel like sideways becomes a crochet thing then for me. Feels weird. But anyway, so that pattern has been haunting me. I am seriously considering to start it because it is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm thinking of maybe using this Estereza yarn that I got quite a while ago, which is in shades of pinks and purples, which I think will look lovely. And it being so variegated, I think it will give space to like flow throughout the cardigan. So yeah, toying about it. I'll decide soon enough. But yeah, I really do love the design. And if you guys are doing it, please let me know. We can maybe do a little crochet along or something. It'll be fun. Then also next week, the Tour de France starts, which means that it is Tour de Fleece season. So I haven't participated in the past because I find it very intimidating to commit to spinning every day for a large amount of time for a whole month. Because the traditional rules of Tour de Fleece is to spin every day and like finish similar meterage as what they're cycling. And it's a lot. So I am thinking of just spinning a little bit most days, not necessarily every day. And I'm also thinking of using a drop spindle. So in that spirit, because I haven't had a drop spindle for a while now, I went yesterday and I bought, let me just hitch this one back again. I see me picking up the yarn. I've pulled it out a bit. I went and bought a Turkish drop spindle yesterday from the yarn tree. So I've done a little bit of spinning here. It's super fluffy because I'm not used to spinning on a drop spindle. I don't think I have enough twist in here. I'm definitely drafting a lot more loose than what I would on my electric spinning wheel. But yeah, so I am using a braid from Wool and Floss. I got this with her pop-up for local yarn shop day. And yeah, so the thing that I really like about a Turkish drop spindle is that as you wind the yarn on, you're effectively making what they call a turtle, which is in essence a center pull ball. So in doing so, it means that you can just ply straight from the ball. With a traditional drop spindle, you have to either have some mechanism to get it off the shaft onto a bobbin so that you can ply it, or you pull it straight off the shaft and then you have multiple drop spindles to be able to have 2 or 3 singles on a drop spindle. So it's all fluffy. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing this. So the reason why I'm really excited to do this is because when you spin on a spinning wheel, I feel like it goes really fast. The spinning wheel itself is fast, even if you have a treadling one in comparison to a drop spindle. You have to draft quite fast because otherwise you put a lot of twist in the single that you are busy drafting. And yes, you can make it slower. Yes, there's things you can do to control it a bit more, but it's not as slow and it's not as easy to stop as with a drop spindle, because with a drop spindle, you literally just grab it and it's done. Whereas with a spinning wheel, you have to like do a lot of things to stop and to start. So I feel like with a drop spindle, you can have a lot more control, which means that you can pay attention to how you're drafting and how the fiber is behaving and how much twist you're putting into it and things like that. So, for example, I can look at this now and I can see a lot of my previous threads, because like in the start of the turtle over there, that's my beginning threads, and then as it goes out, it's my older threads. So I can see how they will change. I can see how they relate to each other, where on a spinning wheel, electric or traditional, doesn't matter, your yarn spins up on the same space. So it's really difficult to like compare your yarn as you go along. So yeah, I'm quite excited for the experience. I'm excited to see how this will impact my spinning. And yeah, I do know that like dropping a drop spindle is far slower than a machine. I mean, I did this little bit yesterday in, I think it was about half an hour, 45 minutes that I did this little bit. And on an electric spinner, I would have been through half the braid already. And I've gone through like 3 pulls of it. So it is significantly slower. But I do think that the experience is going to be a little bit more connected. And I do think that it's going to improve my spinning that I do on my e-spinner in the long run. So I'm quite excited to go on this journey. So the commitment is a little bit of spinning most days. And I'll try and remember to update all my stories and things so that you guys can see that I'm continuing to do it. But yeah, I'm quite excited for it. If you are going to be doing Tour de Fleece, let me know. I would like to follow along if you're going to be posting about it and talking about it and support you and cheer you on. You obviously don't have to do it, and you don't have to do it in the traditional way. You can join me in a funky way as well. If you maybe want to do, I don't know, little experimental minis games every day or something like that. There's so many different ways that you can adjust the normal way of doing it to suit what you actually want to get out of it. Because I think ultimately, if you approach it as just improve a skill for a month type of exercise, I think that it can be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, I think that's about it for this episode. Thank you so much for coming along and listening to me talk about my adventures. It was super fun, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.